was so excited that you agreed to do this.
Aw.
But why lipstick? Is there a reason that you chose lipstick? Because we do have other products we could have collabed on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, lipstick is something that is such a simple thing to have with you to put on wherever you are, but it just makes you feel elevated. And I feel like it's the way to just spruce up your look. This past year, I've really focused on self-care and self-love, which are two words that we use, I think, sometimes too often. And they're so overlooked. It's easy to say, oh, I'm going to take care of myself, but how are you actually doing that? And I often found when I started talking about self-care online that people thought you needed to spend money, spend a full day at the spa, go for a massage in order to take care of yourself. But really, to me, it was just a simple act of putting on lipstick, brushing my hair, you know, going pee in silence without a child touching me, having a hot cup of coffee. And so for me, lipstick was that thing that is so simple but has such huge impact.
Yeah, I love that you said that, because we firmly believe that, not only me personally, but like as a brand, that our makeup, it can be powerful, even though
Hugely.
I feel so much that sometimes we're in this superficial industry. I think things can be a little, like, it can be about more than makeup, and it's that little act that you said.
Totally. And I like that you said that too, like more than makeup, because sometimes it sounds superficial to care about what you look like. When I'm talking about my wellness or even weight loss after children, I sometimes think like, is it bad for me to say like I care about how I feel or how I look? But no, I want people to take that back and know that, especially after having kids, you can care about you and you can care about how you feel, and we should really focus on how things make us feel.
How we feel.
Yes, and for me, putting on lipstick makes me feel good.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's for work and I have a full face of makeup, or if it's for taking my kids to the hockey rink and I'm just in my sweats. It just elevates me and makes me feel a little extra, a little good, which I love.
No, I think makeup can be overlooked sometimes as being superficial. And it's interesting, like, I know we were talking before about like the things that we do to make us feel better. And you've spent how many years working on your like physical fitness level? Like, how many years has that been now?
So I really started to focus a year and a bit ago.
Okay.
Like my first CrossFit class was last New Year's Eve.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
And
the
it's
change
been
comes
just a
fast.
year.
I know.
Wow.
My coach was asking me yesterday,
goodness.
like, when did you start? It's been a year, but a year of really being committed to caring about me, which people sometimes think is selfish, but
No.
whether you're a parent, a spouse, a friend, whoever the relationships you have in your life that are important to you, I don't know why we've become a society that thinks you have to give up everything to be there for someone.
No.
And I think I want to switch that narrative to knowing like, when you are caring for yourself, you're also caring for those people, because then you can show up as the best version of you.
Yeah, I think the definition maybe got lost in translation. I was recently doing a lot of research because I'm writing a book right now. I'm done. It's actually in editing, and we'll launch it in April. But it goes deep, like on my personal family traumas, my own trauma. And I was doing a lot of study on love and self-love and healing. And so as a former alcoholic, I had learned that I didn't really love myself.
Yeah.
And there's actual science around, if you don't love yourself, you can't love anyone beyond that level that you love yourself. And a light bulb went off in my head that was like mind-blowing, because you look, and I'm just focused obviously on the addiction community because that was my world. And I was like, wow, you'll hear addicts talk about how much they love their children, but they can legitimately and scientifically speaking only love them as much as they love themselves, which obviously in that time and space is not very much when you're abusing drugs, alcohol, whatever your substance of choice might be. And it was just blew me away that, oh wow. And so I am grateful that I've learned to love myself finally. And it wasn't selfish, but I grew up in a society or a world where that was deemed as selfishness. And so I feel like I got the definition wrong, and I know I can't be the only one.
But it's like that light bulb moment, like it's so interesting for me to hear that from you of like scientifically, like there's research backing, because we'll sometimes say like, oh, you got to love yourself first, but it comes in one ear out the other. But to actually fully know, like you can't have those immense great relationships if you can't actually be okay with you too.
Yeah.
And it's hard because it's vulnerable and you don't want to think about it. And you sometimes just think like, oh, it's fine. But no, like I think we really have to focus on caring for us so that we can also care for others.
Yes. And like that, you're right. There's so many sayings that it's like it goes in one ear and
Yeah.
out the other. Like you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yes.
Like all of those. Like
Put the oxygen
sayings.
mask on
Yes.
first.
But
Like,
it's so true.
they are
And
meaningful.
I think if we stop and meditate on it, which I think also gets lost, like
Yes.
think about what that really means.
Mhm.
And taking time to do that each day, that is self-care. That's
Totally.
self-love. Like
Mhm.
why do people say that? How can I do that better? Those sorts of things. I love how open and vulnerable you've been. I'm an advocate for TMI.
Yes.
Always,
Totally, for sure.
for too much information, because I feel like so many of us have lived in silence of like the things we think and say and do are always so wrong. And of course, no one's ever going to fully agree with us, because that would be a weird world if it was.
Yes.
But it's okay to disagree with people, even on
Yeah.
the things we put out there. And when you do put yourself out there, most certainly know that you're helping some people, but and those will be your people, right?
Yes. Yeah, and I think that's it exactly for me. Like if I could have one person that was in the place that I was postpartum,
Yes.
feel a bit of support or feel a little bit less lonely, then to me that's a win.
Yes.
And so going back to this lipstick, like if one person feels good putting it on, then to me, like yay, that's a win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was in such a low place and such a bad place of just, I never thought that I could fully love myself.
Yeah.
So to be here now,
What was, I'm probably getting super personal,
That's
but
okay.
what was like the switch where you're like last January you decided you knew you had to do something? Was there in a moment, or was it a multiple? Sometimes it's not one moment, it could be a bunch of moments.
it was a few things leading up, but there was one pivotal moment where I had just been so angry. Like I was experiencing the craziest rage. Like I was like, what's wrong with me? This is not me. This is not who I am. Like I'm not an angry person ever. And I was just mad at everything. And I was very depressed. Like I had as soon as I put the kids to bed, I couldn't I couldn't physically get myself off the couch. I was just in such a bad place. And I remember I was in my bathroom. I looked at myself in the mirror and I thought, who am I? And it wasn't necessarily how I looked, but I had no idea what I liked to do anymore. I didn't know if I had a hobby. I didn't understand what I liked to do outside of being a milk machine and changing diapers. And I thought, this has to change because I don't even like the person I'm looking at. So something's got to give. And I actually went to my doctor and she prescribed me medication. She was like, you're depressed for sure. And she said to me, like, there are studies and research that proves that movement can make the same change as this medication, but getting the motivation to do that movement is the hardest part. So if you need the help, like this will help you. But if you can get there, like that's also an option. So I filled my prescription, but I never took the medication because those words stuck with me. And that moment of looking at myself and being like, who are you? I was like, I never want to feel like that again. So the next day I went for a walk. And after that, I really started to gain momentum to be able to go to a gym. I was scared to go. I would go to the women's only section at times that weren't busy. And then I, through that movement, really gained some confidence to start at a gym and do classes. And from there, I was like, oh my God, I love this. Then I started playing soccer again and finding back like the things that brought me joy. And I witnessed my kids watching me and it made me closer to them. It gave me more energy to spend with them. And it just made me a better person. And I was like, okay, like this is good for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And it's so interesting because I've always pictured you as a happy person. And so it's amazing what we hide. And I think I've met you more than a year ago.
Yeah.
So you were hiding a lot behind a smile when you were facing the world, which is like just recognizing that, right?
Totally.
We all could be going through something, but I love this concept, and I wish every human on the planet would just know that it's all in them to make the change.
Yeah.
Like they have everything they need, and you and I both know just from this conversation, I'm gathering how hard it is
For sure.
to make that change. Like it is really challenging to make changes
so
like that,
hard,
but possible. Like that's the glimmer of hope that I hope that this collaboration and what we've shared will share with someone else, because it sounds like we're both aligned in that we just want to help people even in the one person in the smallest way.
Yeah.
I feel
And
that.
that's why I always say like one small act, drink your coffee hot, put on some lipstick, go for a 5-minute walk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like do something that makes you smile.
Yeah.
Because the ripple effect is incredible.
Yeah.
And there is another side to it, you do make it to the other side.
Yeah.
But
and I think the world needs it more than ever right now, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that could be smiling through a lot of things that they don't need to.
and it's important to know that like when someone looks happy, they might not be. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing all this.
Thank
you
you
for being a part of this collaboration.
Thank you.
We are so excited to share it with the world.
It's going to be the best.